yeah, like I used to go to the boys club when I was younger. Um, just kind of go hang out there, and uh, it just randomly, like, this older lady was kind of gawking at me the whole time, and I was, and she came up to me and asked me if I wanted to try out for a movie, and I, like, I mean, I was like, okay. I mean, it seemed like a long shot. It could be like, child porn. It could be anything. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like whatever. But she gave me the number, and I called, and they said they wouldn't tell. They really wouldn't tell me what movie it was or anything. But they said it's for a movie, and actually, no. You know what? I think they did at that point. I think they did tell me it was Terminator 2 at that point. Um, but I didn't have a script. I just went in there, and she asked me to improvise, just being mad at my mom and yelling at her. So that was really easy. And,
Yeah.
I was like, fuck you, man, fuck yeah, and they dug it. So I just went in for like just a serious audition process. Thank God that woman ended up being Mally Finn, who's like, had a lot of faith in me, and just, there's a couple times I was almost written off the list, and she kind of fought for me. And I wasn't an actor before, so they were a little bit, hesitant at first,
Yeah.
but
And was that in the movie your wardrobe? Is that like your wardrobe, or were they like, "Hey, this is what you're going to look like?"
no, I wasn't cool enough to have the Public Enemy T-shirt and shit, But yeah, I mean, no, they did the wardrobe.
And
Um,
so, had you seen Terminator before this whole thing happened?
yeah, I did actually. I actually knew who Jim Cameron was. I loved movies. I mean, I feel like I sort of manifested it into my life. Like, I mean, I love movies, and after the auditions, I would just like talk to Jim, and Jim was really kind, and I talked to him for like an hour, just kind of going on about like aliens, the
Yeah.
abyss, and all of that stuff. So yeah, and Terminator, obviously,
And
and
and meeting Arnold Schwarzenegger must have been so surreal. I couldn't even
it,
imagine meeting him in person.
it was, dude. Like, I mean, I think just that summer, like Total Recall had just come out. I'd seen that a couple of times, um, and Predator and all of that shit. And I just was like, yeah. I mean, I think I was like really, really sort of like just yeah. I was starstruck. I was like it was pretty crazy. That changes after like sitting on a bike with him for 9 months, and I mean, he's I still look up to him this day, to this day,
Yeah.
man. I think he's a very, very smart, funny guy, and you know it was a great experience working with him for my first movie.
How
uh,
was I mean, how was he around you? Was he like a father figure? Was he showing you the ropes because you'd never acted before? I mean, I when I look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, I just see him as like the most caring person on the planet. Even though, he plays these action hero roles, he just seems like a father figure in the work environment.
in a way, yeah. I mean, I might, maybe yeah, I might have looked up to him like a father figure in many ways.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, when we were doing, I mean, it's like it's a job, man. So it's like, everybody's there working their ass off, including Arnold. Um, so I just remember us being like really busy. They also had to shoot the movie, like, I mean, I'm in like most of the movie, and the laws required that I have 3 hours of school back then. The rest of the actors work like, 16 hours or something, but I would have 3 hours of school and I would work for 5 hours. So, basically the longest I could work was for 5 hours. So they had to like literally, have everything prepared. They had to, Diana, stop. My dog's like,
No, it's totally
sorry
fine.
about that. So they had to have everything like basically set up, and it was just time. I'm sorry, time to go, dude.
Yeah.
When when we were working. So I mean, and honestly, I feel like in a lot of ways, like kids work harder than the adults because you're sort of like the adults kind of chill out when you're not shooting, but it's like the kids are kind of having to go, and even if you're done with the 3 hours, they want you to bank hours in school, and you're just constantly
Yeah.
busy. So
Did y'all ever go to any dinners or anything or hang out outside of the work environment?
oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah. I mean, like in general, like when the movie was done, I was heartbroken, man. I mean, we spent 9 months together, like very close together, just and it was like a family, dude. It just becomes
Yeah.
like a family. You have your days that are funny, you have your kind of rough days, and it's just but you become really, really close. And that was my first experience of having that happen on a movie. um and everybody sort of parts ways at the end. you know
After you guys parted ways, did you stay in touch with him at all, or like like call him and stay in
no.
touch? No.
Here and there, you know what I mean, like um yeah, I mean, like here and there, I'd run into one of them. I'd run into Jim or Linda or whatever, and it's always great to see them, but
But it was a job,
yeah, I mean, it's a job, and everybody has like, sort of, especially if you're Arnold or Jim and Linda. I mean, back then, I mean, I was a kid, but they have lives. They have,
Yeah.
shit to
Yeah,
get back to.
it's like it's like high school. Whenever you're in high school, you know these people. I made this analogy the other day that high school is like working in a large mall. There's a bunch of people working there, but that doesn't mean that you have to become really close with everybody that's there. And once you leave high
Right.
school, it's over. So, what was it like at your high school after you were done filming Terminator 2? I mean, that must have been insane to walk into school and have everybody know that you're John Connor.
Yeah, dude. Actually, I like. Well, I first started that movie during junior high, and
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I remember because the funny thing is, even like on my old junior high yearbook, a lot of people wrote like, good luck being an actor, because I was always saying I was going to be an actor even before I became one, and it was just funny because like I came back, like I had literally, I was gonna, that's right, I had to start um, rehearsing for like, I think 2 months or something like that before I started shooting. And literally, I had one day of school before I started like my set schooling, and I was going to learn how to ride motorcycles and shit like that. And I was like, no, I have to go to school. I have to tell everybody what's happening. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like I went to school, and I just remember, like, I mean, I literally was telling my friends and people I hadn't seen since summer, like like dude, I'm gonna be an actor. I'm gonna be starring in a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's so
And
fucking
everybody just
cool.
looked at me like I was fucking loco, dude. Like I remember to this day, people are like, "Okay, dude." Like Eddie must have
Sure.
gotten into something over the something. You know what I mean? Like, or I'd lost my mind, and I was like, "You'll see, dude." And I never showed up again. I was out, and I never went back to actually see. You know what I mean? But I eventually like, really wanted to go to public school after the movie and everything.
Of course you
Um,
did. You were going to be
yeah,
popular.
Yeah. And it's like I really did. I wanted to go back to my old one, but then the people around me were like, no, because I grew up sort of in the ghetto and everything. So it was like, so I went to this other kind of upper class school, but it was like a public school, and I just got mobbed. I
Yeah.
got mobbed. So I just literally was like, okay, and then I ended up starting to work. I did American history.
You
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
well,
sorry,
you mean,
American heart. And
well,
so
before
yeah,
you,
literally the day I got there, like um, I had to like
so,
literally run into a classroom because people were just mobbing me
so
for autographs and shit.
fans, like girls,
Yeah,
boys, all coming after you because
yeah.
here's John Connor. I mean, this is a huge star. I mean, you're a huge star at this point. I mean, you're in one of the biggest blockbuster movies of the
Right.
90s.
Which
I
is
mean,
still
this
playing
is
in theaters and shit.
It
Yeah.
is. I mean, it is the most loved. I think it's one of the most beloved action movies of all time, in my opinion. I mean, it's my favorite movie ever made. Mostly because,
Oh,
when I was a kid, I went to Blockbuster Video all the time. And whenever you go to Blockbuster, they have those blockbuster big budget movies in your face and they're force feeding them down your throat. And I was that kid, my dad loved it. We watched it every weekend almost. Like I was
yeah.
so in love with it, and I still am. It's such a big part of cinematic history, and you're
Wasn't
a
that
part
like
of it,
such an
dude.
awesome time, by the way? Like going to Blockbuster.
Yes,
Like I enjoy movies so much less than I did when I like went and actually rented them for some reason. You know what I
me
mean? Like,
too.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's weird.
now it's like I'll sit on my couch and I have to put something on while I'm looking for something to watch. That's how fucked up it is now. Like I remember
Yeah.
going to the video store, and this was like it was like going to the movie theater now. It's just something that you did. Like you would go to dinner with your family, you'd go to Blockbuster Video or whatever video store you go to, and you would
Right.
spend like an hour or 2 hours looking at movies, but it wasn't filled with anxiety like it is looking through Netflix and Hulu and all these places trying to find one movie out of hundreds of thousands of movies.
Yeah. No, it was exciting.
It
It
was
was
exciting.
exciting. Yeah, it was really exciting. Yeah. No, I, yeah, it was a great time. But yeah, kind of going back to your point, I, yeah, I had no fucking idea, and I really wanted to kind of go back and sort of, you know, I mean, hopefully maybe have like a little bit more pull with the chicks at school or something, But
Yeah.
I was hoping to have like a normal, you know, experience at school, and that didn't happen.
So whenever
And
you were going to go back to school, did your entire wardrobe change after this movie? Were you John Connor outside of the movie? Like did you start dressing like that character?
no, not at all, dude. I was, um, I don't know. I guess kind of junior high and all that seems awkward to everybody. You know what I mean? I was an awkward kid. I mean, I had friends and stuff, but I mean, um, I don't know. So yeah, it's weird, man. Like that whole thing. Jesus, Dinah, stop. Um, that whole experience is a weird one, man, because you're very aware that you played a character, you know
Yeah.
and it's not you, you know what I mean? So I think it's tough to kind of come to terms with that when everyone else is expecting you to be that.
Right.
But
And I mean, well, in a way, like you said, you're not that character. That's not who you are. You're an actor, and
yeah,
a damn good one at that. But you leave that role and you're walking down the street, and people don't see Edward Furlong. They see Danny or Hawk or John Connor. What's
right.
the most you've ever been called? What character do
Oh,
people?
John Connor for sure, the
John
most, man.
Connor?
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a big one.
I can only
Um,
imagine what kind of crowd reaches out to the Danny character.
well, you know what, dude? Like, I've had a couple of like definite like run-ins with I think like white supremacist people who totally don't get the point of the movie.
Yeah.
Like
Did
just
you
don't
watch
get
it?
it. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Like it doesn't end well, dude. Like yeah,
Yeah.
but
I would imagine that, yeah, white supremacists would would be like, Danny, Danny.
yeah, here and there, man, here and there. I had a yeah, somebody asked me to sign like a poster and say like "Make America Great Again" and just like weird, like yeah, like no, I'm not gonna do that.
No.
But yeah, and like a lot of people dig Detroit Rock City, you
Yeah.
know.
I
Um,
mean, Detroit Rock City is like a beast in its own. Like you, man, your character, I mean, he's a kiss-loving stoner who is, I mean, everybody can relate to for the most part. Whenever you're growing up and you're in high school, all you want to do is see your favorite bands, smoke a little bit of weed, and hang out with your friends. And
yeah,
for the most part, parents butt in and ruin the entire thing.
right,
I mean,
right.
at that point in your life, did you relate to that character, or was it just a character?
Oh, 100%, dude. Yeah, I mean that's sort of me in a nutshell at that age, you know.
Really? Was
Yeah, I
that
mean
the
I was
rise of that persona? Like, or were you already kind of, experimenting
no.
with?
I mean, look, the in terms of my, sort of later fucking around with like hard drugs and all that shit. That was a very, very slow process. Um, and honestly, that period of time really had nothing to do with the later on version of that. Like I don't find weed to be like a gateway drug or anything like
No.
that. Like um and yeah, I mean, I wish sometimes, I mean, I really do wish sometimes, I'm like, man, if I just stayed in that kind of uh period of time, if I just like kept smoking weed and eating mushrooms and dropping acid and doing like the whole hippie thing, like that was the most fun I ever had, like during that period of time. And then
What
it
what
just,
was your favorite mushroom trip that you've ever had?
dude, honestly,
Yeah, give us a layout like it's a little short
I
story.
mushrooms never give me like you know what, like it's weird, man. Like I've eaten a lot of mushrooms. I used to eat mushrooms even up until the point like I stopped doing drugs. Like I would eat mushrooms like almost on a daily basis. Like I ate a lot of mushrooms. And so I never had like crazy super weird trippy shit happen to me. Like I don't know. A lot of it was just like my favorite shit was just like, driving down. I would eat mushrooms and like drive down the one up the coast and like, just like look at the trees. One of my favorite mushroom trips, actually, now I can remember, is I was driving, me and a couple of friends, we drove all the way up to Vancouver. We decided one day we would drive we loved Twin Peaks. So
Yeah.
we thought we would drive up to Snoqualmie Falls or whatever the fuck it's called. And we were like, well, and then we'll just hit the border. You know what I mean? So we drove up there and, I was the driver at this point. Everybody was like passed out. And I was like, fuck, man. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to dip in those mushrooms. And I just started eating the mushrooms. And it was nighttime, and I just remember seeing the sunrise over, and I was driving in the redwoods, and the sunrise just came over, and I just was like, "This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." Like it was just gorgeous, just this redwoods and the sun peeking through the redwoods and everything, and I'm just like, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And like, it's like people start waking up and I'm like, no, it's okay, man. I'll keep driving, dude, man. I'm in charge of the music right now. You know what I mean? So yeah, like those
Well, dude, it sounds like a scene from Detroit Rock City. Like it sounds like whenever they chose you for that role, they were like, "This guy's perfect." It's like they knew you already.
Yeah.
What about acid? Did you ever have any crazy trips on acid?
You know what? Acid, I never liked it as much as mushrooms.
Yeah.
Um, I
It's a
don't know.
little more it's more forced on you, you know? It's like in your face. Like I I mean, yeah, it's a totally different beast than mushrooms. Like it's
It
more
lasts way too long sometimes, and the crash
yeah,
on it is like forever.
right.
So it's like, you're kind of over it at a certain point, and then it's just like all these colors are just going through your fucking brain, and you're just like, I just want to sleep. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just like the
Dude,
worst. Like,
I remember one night I got off work. I was living in Austin, Texas. This was in like 2013. And my girlfriend at the time, it's like 2 a.m. and I get off work. I work at a bar. I worked at Maggie Mae's. Actually, you came into Maggie Mae's one night and we met. I
in
was
New
working
Orleans?
there. No, in Austin, Texas. You came
Oh, in
into
Austin.
Maggie Mae's. Yeah, you came up to the door and they weren't going to let you in because you didn't have your ID. And I was like, dude, do you know who the fuck this is? That's Edward Furlong. Dude, American History X, Terminator 2, Detroit Rock City. Like, do you not know who this guy is? And they were like, oh, well, we didn't realize he didn't have his ID. And I'm like, dude, fucking let him in. And they let
Yeah,
you in, and
nice.
you and I had a conversation, but it was a long time ago. Of course, you wouldn't remember because I'm not in, all these iconic movies. But anyway, so she had some acid, and it was on paper. And I didn't really want to do it. I was like, it's really late. Like, I've never done it before. And she talked me into it. And so we did it. And we went outside. And I remember the entire sky was like mesh. Like it was a neon net over the entire sky. And the palm trees were slapping the ground. They were waving and hitting the ground. And I was like, this is too much for me. So we went and laid in my bed. And I lived my entire life in this acid trip. I was 80 years old and I thought that I would never get out.
84 years.
And we were talking to each other telepathically and laughing, and it was so
Yeah.
weird. And then
Isn't
when I
that
finally
weird
got
how that
it's
happens?
it's so
No.
weird. And afterwards I asked her, I was like, hey, did we actually have this conversation? And she remembers having it. And I don't know
Right.
if we were talking out loud and we didn't realize it, but I mean, acid was just, it was too much. And I haven't done it again since then. And I don't think I ever will. But, mushrooms is more of a delicate substance that it changes you as a person. Every time you take it, I feel like it betters yourself, like your mental health. You get a little bit of clarity, what you're doing in your life that's fucking you up.
Right.
And it's just totally different. I don't think it's a drug. It's more of a therapy in a way.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, out of all the drugs, even more than heroin or anything, I miss mushrooms in a lot of ways.
Right.
I mean, I accept that I sort of been there and done that at this point, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I could take a mushroom trip, and even if I was getting bad sort of juju from it, even if I was like starting to kind of have a bad trip in my head about something, like a breakup or whatever the fuck it is, you know what I mean? Like it always turned out being a positive experience. Like I never was like, oh man, like I always felt like, oh, I could learn something from this, and
Yeah. Did
I
you
mean,
take a lot you said that you took them every day. Were you taking a lot or were you
there was
microdosing?
a no, I wasn't micro I wasn't microdosing.
No.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Something about mushrooms, like it's weird. Like I never really had crazy bad trips. I mean, I've done with friends and they're like, oh my God, I'm tripping my fucking balls off. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, it's weird. Like I'm kind of normal on it. I don't
Yeah.
know. But yeah, I did a period of time where I tried to be sober by just eating mushrooms, and I actually went to AA meetings like that. And yeah, friends who knew me were like, "Oh God, you're obviously tripping right now." Like,
Were you a heavy drinker at this time?
yes, yes, but
So
I
whenever
stopped
you
drinking.
were So, and like in the '90s, like when you were doing Detroit Rock City and American History X, you were drinking a lot, or
Yeah, I was drinking.
okay,
I was drinking. I mean, not to the point that I did later on in life, but um, I mean, look, like I would go with a couple people to the bar at the end of the night every night. You know what I mean, and drink. Um, it's like when I started going to clubs and um, started doing coke and shit. Like, I mean, even that lasted for a while, but it
was
did
that
become like
when did you start doing coke?
probably like say like late teens, early 20s, maybe. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, like around like I'd say early 20s. Just definitely
I
when I
I would imagine it'd be like really easily accessible just because at that point, everybody wants to talk to you. And if you ever needed anything, like let's say you're drunk at a bar or something, all you have to do is say something and someone will be like, oh,
oh,
well.
bro, you don't even have to say anything in Hollywood.
And I'm sure they don't even have, I'm sure you never even had to pay for it.
Oh, dude, it's everywhere. You know what I mean? And it's like it just became I mean, at least it was at that point. And now, like, I wouldn't even fuck with that shit because it's like, there's fentanyl and shit in it now. It's like, but yeah, dude, like, I mean, people like shoving pen caps up your nose, you know what I mean? It's just like, and it just let me drink more, which, like, just, I don't know, man. And then it just started, I don't know. I mean, it just started becoming more and more about like I couldn't go out and drink unless I had coke on me,
So, yeah. So at that point, you had a dependency on cocaine. Like if you even had a drink, you would be like, okay, well, at the end of the night or sometime tonight, I'm going to need some cocaine to level out. And because, yeah, I mean, would you like drink until you were super drunk early and then depend on that cocaine so that you could start drinking more?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I would just like, yeah, I would get blasted drunk, and then I'd just like, wake myself back up with some coke, and then I'd drink myself back to, you know, and
What was your
obliterate
drink
myself
of
again.
choice?
Oh man, I like tequila and vodka. I never was a beer drinker. And I guess I attribute that to being half Mexican, half Russian or something. But yeah, I mean, it got to the point where, you know, it got bad. Like I literally just to tell myself I'm mixing a drink, but I wasn't, and I'd be drinking like I could go through a bottle literally of vodka. Like I would pour like vodka, and then put a splash of like tap water in it if I had anything, you know what I mean? So it just got like really bad. And, friends of mine would give me like, I would drink vodka cranberries and stuff like that. Friends would just give me cranberry juice at a certain point, and I wouldn't even know, anymore.
Yeah.
But
So what would you do? Like it's like 2, 3, 4 in the morning. You're wired on cocaine. How do you go to bed? You just lay there and look at the sky
dude,
and
I literally still get like, post traumatic stress, whenever like I'm up and the sun is up, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh my God, I remember this feeling. Like, yeah, I remember like, um, I remember just, yeah, it was the worst feeling in the world, man. Like, like, I would be like at some after party and just driving home and I'm crashing on coke, like, and people are out grabbing coffee and I'm like
yeah,
trying
people
to
are
crawl back.
starting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
people
like,
are starting their days and you see the sunrise and you're like, I shouldn't be doing this. This isn't what I should be doing. I should be at home in bed, waking up and starting my day doing something.
yeah.
And was that kind of like a wake up call at a certain point after that continued to happen, or did things get worse
No,
before
that
they got
wasn't awake.
better?
No, it just, you know what? It got to a point where it was like, you know, I don't know. The thing for me, dude, is like and I'm still figuring it out. But like, I think when I was younger, and in terms of like starting to smoke weed or eat mushrooms, even that for me, like, was a way that we could all hang out and bond. You know what I mean? I didn't know exactly. I felt very socially awkward, but in that place, I felt like I fit in, and we were all going to go through some sort of cool experience, and we could be together, we'd laugh, and that became drinking, that became everything, So I honestly didn't know how I would live without it at a certain point, but it's like the more I did it, the further I would take it. And then, like, I didn't know how to control it at a certain point. I just kept having to go like all the way, and then eventually it was like, like, yeah, like I was like starting to do heroin to come down off the coke, and just, and then it just slowly turns into this whole thing. And that's part of the reason why I didn't get sober for so long, is I was like genuinely scared of like what I would be without it, like.
Were you snorting it or were you shooting it up?
I was shooting heroin.
Did you ever snort it or no?
Snorted it, yeah. The first time I did it, I snorted it actually. I was in Italy, but wait, hold on one second. Let me grab something. Yeah, dude, it's bitch, dude. It's crazy.
So
But
were you going at this point? I mean, you're in your early 20s or teens. Were you going to any like Hollywood parties with celebrities or hanging out with, like people from the big screen? And I mean, obviously, you don't have to name names, whatever. But I mean, did you ever do any of that? Like hang out with really fucking cool people?
yeah, that's what I was doing for years, man.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. I mean, it was very debaucherous in Hollywood back then. And I'm not the smoothest character, so I get busted. You know what I mean? And it's like, but
You just don't give a fuck. You're loud about it. You don't care.
I don't know, dude. I'm not the smoothest cat, But
Yeah.
yeah, and then eventually it just kind of became more important for me to just get high than it was to even hang out or go to clubs. You know what I mean? It sort of became.
I mean, if you weren't drinking, you probably weren't very social, I would imagine.
Oh, no. I didn't. Yeah, it's weird, man. I didn't know how to hang out like normally. Like that's all I knew, dude. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
After Detroit Rock City, were you pretty
I mean,
close
dude,
with...
even like when I was younger, like, when friends would come over, sleep over, we'd always like break into the liquor cabinet,
Yeah.
So it was
Man,
like that was my whole thing.
I remember, whenever I was I think it was like the 7th grade. I had one of my buddies over, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to smoke some weed?" And I was like, "Yeah." I didn't even know what it looked like. Like in my mind, I was imagining like a green stick. This is like the 90s, and we don't have a lot of access to the internet, and you don't see stuff like this on TV. Well, at least I didn't. And so he pulled it out, and we went in my basement, and my dad had Zima in the refrigerator. And, yeah, dude. So we're sitting and smoking a joint, and we're drinking Zima, and it was like the best night of my life. I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But it's like I totally understand that
experience, dude. Like, I mean, and I knew that I was like, I literally remember thinking like, this is going to be the rest of my life. This is amazing. Cause I remember like, I was sitting and the person I was with me, I was smoking, nothing's happening. They're like, no, you're stoned, man. And Like, I'm like, no, I'm not. And they're like, dude, your eyes are so bloodshot. And then I like went and looked in the mirror and I just fell on the floor, just laughing my ass off. And just like, and then from there on, I was like, dude, I want to do this like every single day, dude. Like,
Were you a
yeah,
skater?
no,
No.
not
Did
at
you
all.
have any hobbies when you were a kid? Did you do anything like, like, I don't know, riding a bicycle or,
I
what
mean,
was your hobby? What was your thing?
I used to love riding my bike with my friends, Um,
That's a
I don't
90s
know.
thing.
Yeah, that's a 90. Yeah, that's a 90 and an 80s thing, because
80s thing, yeah.
I was in the 80s. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, like our whole thing. I mean, playing video games, man. I mean, literally, we played the fuck out of Nintendo, dude. I mean, when that shit came out in the 80s, the bike riding kind of went aside, and we were just like decide who's going over to whose house and like what Nintendo we're gonna play on, and it just became all about that.
Yeah, there's been a steady decline ever since the invention of video games of bike riding.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's very safe to say that.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember like whenever we first got a Sega Genesis, it was a game changer. Like we had Mortal Kombat, and the reason we had a Nintendo as well, but the reason we had the Sega is because they had blood on Mortal Kombat.
Right.
And dude, I mean, and then on top of that, the arcades, which was just like the best place to go. Did you
Yeah,
spend a lot of
yeah,
time at arcades?
yeah. I did. I loved arcades. Yeah, yeah. I remember like, I mean, me and a good friend of mine, we'd always, I mean, just literally like there was like this restaurant called The Hat, and they had like a Double Dragon machine, and like we just go and play Double Dragon like all the time, like
Yeah.
whenever.
For me, it
Um,
was Terminator 2. Like I would go to the arcade and I'd be playing Terminator 2. And, of course, like the Simpsons arcade, the Ninja
yeah,
Turtles arcade, just, oh man, so many fucking good memories. Like when my parents are at work, either I was at home or they dropped me off at the arcade and they were like, hey, we'll see you in like 7 hours.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was I don't know, maybe my parents were kind of stingy or something, like because I would literally, because I remember I was so stoked, like we beat like Double Dragon, like I'd get 3 quarters to go play Double Dragon, so I had to make it through the game on 3 quarters, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like, I don't know, they were pretty stingy, so I get like $1.
Yeah.
It's like that goes so quick in an
Oh,
arcade, like.
yeah, absolutely. And in the 80s, like the games are impossible to beat.
Right. Terminator 2, man. I mean, like, yeah,
Oh,
when that
yeah.
came out, I remember I had to get like, because I wanted to play it, so I had to get like a jug of quarters to fucking play that thing because it was hard. It was really,
Wait,
really hard.
they made you pay for it?
Well, it was at an arcade, and I didn't. You know what? Everybody else got the arcade cabinet in their deal. I didn't get that. No one. I like. I didn't have the arcade cabinet, so the only way that I could go play it was to go to the arcade and try it. You know what I mean?
Why wouldn't they give you a cabinet? You're the main character. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
the whole movie literally revolves around John Connor, not around Terminator.
Yeah,
It's about John Connor.
yeah, I know. I know.
That's
I was
weird.
actually just talking to Robert Patrick about that. He was like, "Yeah, dude, I still have my cabinet. Everybody got a cabinet. I didn't get one. Yeah."
I tell you what. If I become successful, I'm gonna buy you one for your birthday one day. I will. I promise. If I become successful, I'm gonna buy you a Terminator 2 cabinet because I'm looking for one as well. I stalk eBay looking for them. I mean, nothing would look better in my living room than a Terminator 2 cabinet.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? And that game, oh man, is so hard. Like you could never beat level 2 or maybe it was level 3. I'm not sure, but it's
yeah.
just like the most insane game in the world. But did you do any voice acting for that game?
Yeah, I did actual. It was like a very primitive version of the actual body movements and stuff. Like so they'd actually videotape me, and I would go in there and I'd be like, you know what I mean? And they would just have me do weird, crazy expressions and move in weird places, in ways or whatever. And yeah, it was.
Did they
It
pay you
was.
pretty well for that?
I don't remember. I think so. I
Did,
think
I
so.
don't
Yeah.
want to get too personal, but did you make a shitload of money for Terminator 2? I mean, you're a
No.
kid.
No.
No?
No. 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 Not at all, dude.
Ah.
Not at all. I think
I'm
like my.
imagining in my head that you made like millions of dollars.
Oh no. 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 Dude, that's the biggest misconception, dude. Is that actors are like super rich because we're not. You know. Um, for Terminator, I didn't get a back end deal in terms of like you know um merchandise or anything, first of all. So like anybody sells toys of that, I don't get anything. And I made I made 30 grand on Terminator. So
But I mean, I'm sure you were happy. I mean, you're a kid and now you
yeah.
have $30,000. And then you
Yeah.
go on to do Pet Cemetery 2. Hopefully they paid you pretty well for
Yeah, they
that.
started paying me pretty well. I so by the time I did Terminator, I wasn't I was sort of I was living I there was like I had a whole custody thing because I sort of ran away from home for a while before all that happened. It's a long story, but so I had like a actual guardian of my trust. So I didn't really. I'd only get certain amounts of money, you know what I mean? And I did get emancipated at 15, and then I like basically then on just like blew it. It's
Yeah.
like yeah, like throwing parties or whatever in my 20s and shit. But yeah, no, I mean I was making good money by the time um I was doing those other movies. Yeah. Like, pretty good money. But I mean, I wasn't making multi millions of dollars or anything.
Yeah. Whenever you did American History X, is this about the time where you were drinking pretty heavily and doing drugs and
No, I mean, I was still kind of doing like this. I mean, I would definitely say I was still in the weed mushroom phase,
yeah.
dude.
Okay.
Yeah. But
I was gonna say,
wait,
man, that's like one. I mean, that role that you played is just like it seems like an impossible role. Like, and you played it so well. It's baffling, to be honest. Like I've I like to think that I can act, and I've done a couple movies and I've done some commercials and stuff,
mhm.
but to be in that position of that character, it just seems like an impossible task, and you just blew it out of the water. I mean, you did such a good job.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I don't know. It was a I, it, we knew we were doing a great movie, and Tony Kaye was a really good director. Um, and I don't know. I just kind of enjoyed playing that character.
Yeah.
Um, I like meaty, kind of difficult roles. I get bored when it's like just I'm running away from something usually.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I don't know.
Have you
Uh,
carried any of those relationships from the past roles, like people that you've met into the future? Like, do you still hang out with anybody that you used to be in movies with?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, no, some of those friendships have lasted forever. I yeah, yeah. Um, for instance, you know, uh, Jimmy DeBello is in Detroit Rock City with me. He's a very good friend of mine.
That's awesome.
Um,
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna ask earlier if you're still friends with any of those guys because y'all seem so tight in Detroit Rock City. Like it seemed like y'all were actually best friends.
Yeah, no, me and Jimmy became really good friends during that. I mean, he was the one we'd go drinking afterwards, and then we were playing Ocarina of Time. Like that had just came out for the N64, and like I had it in my hotel room, and we were just like we were like, oh, the acting, schmacking. We want, we wanted to get back and play some Zelda, dude. Dude, you still, yeah. I think I said this last time, right? You still got the VHSs and shit going on. I'm trying to see what you have in the background.
Oh
Teenage
yeah, man.
Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. You see that
Oh,
shit?
dude, I fucking love this movie so much.
Really? Better than the first one?
Dude, I love it so much. Okay, so the thing is, so it's kind of weird. It's like Terminator 2 is like
Yeah.
it's like an action comedy. You know, it's a little lighter than the first one. The first one was really dark. The first Ninja Turtles movie was the same way. I mean, it was super dark, and then this one's more lighthearted. I think I liked it because of that. You know, I was a kid when I first saw it, so I was like, I could relate more to this one.
Oh my god,
But
dude! Big Trouble in Little China is the shit, dude. I love.
oh, I know. This one's actually this one's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, that's Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, it looked like.
Yeah, but it's the same. It's like Todd Struzan knockoff of Big Trouble in Little China, Big Trouble in Little Galaxy, essentially. But yeah, I I have a ton of tapes that I've made. I have Terminator 2 over here. Speaking of, do you have any of your movies on VHS?
No. Mm-mm.
Really?
I don't know, man.
I would imagine that you would have them as like trophies.
Yeah. No. No. No.
It would be really cool.
I did for a while because I would, have in my agreement they would send me something, but
your audio's it's a little muffled right now.
Can you hear me? Okay. Is that better?
Yeah.
That's better. All right, cool, man. And
we're back.
Yeah, and we're back. Dude.
No, I was just, curious, like if I was
the
star.
trophy thing. Yeah. The thing. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I used to. I don't know. So I've done a lot of movies that I'm not proud of too. So I mean, would I add those in my trophy collection? You know what I mean? Like,
what are your favorite movies that you've done, and what are the movies that you wish you'd never even touched?
Oh man, I mean, I could go on and on for the movies I wished I never touched.
Yeah,
but it's tough to say, man. Like, I'm looking at it from a completely different viewpoint than anybody else is, So, I mean, trying to pick a favorite is hard. Some of the movies that I hate, that are just terrible. Like, I've had the greatest time on. You know what I mean? So I kind of correlate the movies with the actual sort of experience of making them, and
right, because I mean that's your experience. I mean, it's like you experience the making of the movie, and other people just see the outcome of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And usually when I watch it, which is like, I mean, I'll watch something once, and usually I'm just kind of biting my nails through the whole thing and just kind of, just hoping that it comes out and I didn't embarrass myself too bad, But
do you watch your own movies?
No, I don't. I've seen, kind of bits and pieces when they pop up here and there, and maybe I'll stop for a second. I don't know. I don't like watching myself. No, it's
yeah. It's like well, it's not you anymore, first of all, and it's your past. So does that like bring back bad memories of the things that from the past that maybe you wish were different or?
No. Um, I think sort of like more than anything, I guess the feeling that I get when I watch a movie of mine is like, why am I doing this? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, why am I sitting here watching myself? It's like, I don't know. It
Yeah.
seems a little.
It's like your ego meter is like going.
It's like I might as well just go and jerk off and actually enjoy myself. Like.
Well, that would be something if you were jerking off and watching your movies.
Yeah, there you go. Dude.
I mean, hey, maybe we just opened a window here.
Yeah. So I don't know, and it's like I don't think my kids really seeing any of my movies at all.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch. Yeah, so I mean, basically,
how many kids do you have?
Just one.
Just one, and he doesn't watch your movies.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like something. I mean, that's the thing. It's like it's sort of.
It's like home videos.
It's just something I don't even think about, really. It's weird, because I understand, because a lot of people are like, you don't watch your own movies, and I mean, it's just.
I can understand that.
Why would I?
But
yeah,
but like if my dad was a movie star, I would think that I would want to watch his. Yeah, I would think that I would want to watch his movies. I don't know.
Yeah. Or
I mean, that's fucking cool. I'd be like, dude, my dad was John Connor. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess like, when it comes to that, like actual, like it's your dad, it's just not quite as cool or interesting as, you might think it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like, it's your dad,
They get to a certain age and they just don't give a shit about you anymore.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's
how old is he? Is he in high school?
He's 15. He's
nice,
school,
man. So that's the age you were whenever you first started your career, right? You were around 15?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Damn.
I was emancipated when he was my age. I mean, that's just.
Do you ever tell him that? Like, whenever he gets in trouble, do you tell him like, I was emancipated when I was your age?
I have told him that. I'm just like, I'll just be like, Jesus Christ, man, what the fuck? Like, I mean, like, dude, when I was your age, I was like living on my own, and that just baffles my mind, dude. Like, It's just like, I don't know. It's Jesus. Hold on, someone keeps texting me and it won't stop. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
But it's like, why doesn't somebody, if you're gonna send me text after text after text, just write it down in one big text. I mean, I probably won't read it, but it's like it goes, and it's just like going ding, ding, ding. And it's like the worst thing.
I know. Yeah, I hate that. I hate when people text me in general.
Goes again. Yeah, there it goes again. Yeah. All right.
I think there's like a setting on your phone you could put. There's like a half moon. It's just like a do not disturb, and then
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
They can't even text you then.
Yeah. Oh,
so
there it goes again.
Your son plays music, right?
Yeah, he does.
What kind of music does he play?
He loves like rock and roll. Dude, I'm so proud of him.
Yeah.
I mean, not to sound old, like, but the things people listen to these days, like.
Oh, I know.
God, dude, I'm so proud. He loves like, like, I mean, literally, I think his like favorite band is Metallica. So
nice.
Yeah.
What's your favorite band?
Dude, you know what? Like, that's such a tough question. I love so much music, dude. Like, it's always changing, dude. Like,
yeah. What do you listen to on a daily basis?
What have I been listening to lately? I've been listening to some Talking Heads.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
A little bit of new wave.
Yeah. I mean, I run the whole gamut, dude. Like, I mean, I sort of like, I think I started with like, Black Sabbath and all that shit. And, of course, the 90s music like Nirvana and, all that grunge stuff that was happening. And it just, yeah, I'll just listen to like, I mean, all the way to like 80s freaking pop, like Depeche Mode kind of shit to like, Slipknot. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just kind of like it's just a big array, mostly rock and roll, but I like hip hop too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been listening to Run the Jewels, which is like this awesome hip hop band that like I think they're produced by the same guy who did the Rage Against the Machine albums and shit
Oh,
too. So,
nice.
yeah. So and I saw that, Rage and Run the Jewels are touring together at some point. So I was like, and they're fucking awesome. So
Are you back out and doing stuff now that I mean wait, are you in LA?
yeah.
Okay, so COVID is more of like a presence there where you're not really it's frowned upon to go and do stuff, right?
Oh yeah, you're in Texas. Yeah, no man.
Yeah.
It's
Dude, Texas is weird. It's like Texas is it's like it doesn't exist anymore. Like I went to the grocery store today,
yeah,
um, and nobody's wearing a mask.
yeah.
It's like
That's
nobody's afraid anymore. But I mean, to be honest, and not that I'm saying people should not be worried about it. That's not right to say. But me personally, I'm just not worried about it because I think I'm healthy. Like you know what I mean? Like, and I've been vaccinated, so I'm really just not that worried about it right now. And I'm pretty
yeah,
young, so but I don't know. It's different for everybody. So I mean,
yeah. I mean,
do you ever?
I think we're all over it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's just like at this point, it's just this thing. I mean, we're going on year 3 of this shit.
yeah. It must be
But
magical for you, not like going out and people not screaming John Connor every single fucking day. When you're wearing a mask, they probably don't recognize
you know
you.
what? They don't do that. Like I don't know. Maybe I mean I'll get recognized here and there, but it's I don't know. Maybe in LA people are used to it. When I go to other
Yeah,
states, I notice it more. But
yeah.
yeah, dude. I mean, it's pretty. Like everybody wears a mask indoors anywhere here. So it's like it's like that. Now they're starting to do like the you have to show proof of the vaccination if you go somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. But
Wow.
yeah, I mean I don't know. Yeah, I mean I don't know, man. It's like we've. I mean, I imagine businesses are struggling because of this, and I don't know, man. I try to stay away from politics, but
Yeah, me
it's a
too. The
rough
only
time,
thing
man.
I really worry about, I mean, I have kids. I have 3 kids, and I have twins that are in the first grade.
Yeah,
And I just worry that I worry about their mental health for the most part because I worry that they're going to have dependency for these masks. Until recently, actually, now it's not mandated and they're not required to wear masks anymore, and I'm very happy about that. But for a while, I was like really worried that they would feel naked without their masks in social situations. You know what I mean? I was worried about that, and then them not being able to go places. And now I'm like taking them to the movies, and they hadn't been to the movies in like 2 years. And
yeah,
we went and they had a blast. Like they didn't even know how to act in a movie theater because it's been so long since they went. They were just like going crazy. and
right.
but I mean, yeah, just this whole thing is just going on way too long. I'm
Yeah,
over it. And everybody's
yeah,
over it.
yeah.
Are you at all afraid of death? This is going in a
No,
different direction, but
yeah,
no.
not really. No, no.
What do
I
you
don't
think
know.
happens when you die?
I don't know. I don't know.
You ever
Um,
thought about it?
yeah, I think we've all thought about it a lot. I think I've come to terms with the fact that I just don't know. you know, and that's okay. Um, you know, I've had people close to me die, and you know, I don't know how to describe it, but it doesn't ever feel like they're fully gone. And maybe that's just me, you know, but I believe that, you know, for instance, like, um, you know, energy, like always the energy, like on everything. I mean, it just goes on forever. So, I mean, I think there's an energy that we carry that just kind of lasts forever. But yeah, dude, I don't know. I'm not afraid of it though. I'm really
Yeah.
not. Like if somebody told me that I was gonna die, um, I'd be really, really bummed out about it. And I would just kind of be like, fuck, I wanted to do so much more. And, you know, I want to be here for my kid, stuff like that. But in terms of the actual dying, I mean, we all die. Really, you know, it's just a matter of when, you know.
I could relate with that. Like, I think the only thing that I would be afraid of is that I would miss out on my kids growing up and seeing that and being there for them whenever they need me. I mean, that's like a scary thought. But then I think about like creating a ripple in time. And, you know, you as an actor, you have created a ripple in time where you will always be in this existence, in this consciousness with everybody who is in this universe. I mean, you have created such an impact that you're in these films, you're doing these things that are permanent. You left a permanent fingerprint. And that's, you know, that's kind of like what I'm trying to do is I want to leave a little ripple in time, a fingerprint. So whenever I'm long gone, my kids, their kids can come back and visit and see what I've done. And in a way, a piece of me still will exist.
Yeah.
I mean, that I think that's a good way to look at life is make your presence known and speak your words and let people hear you and share stories and just don't be a memory, you know, just don't make your life some distant memory.
You know, too, I've like realized like, you know, yeah, being a parent, loving the people that are in my life that I love, you know, and truly loving them and being there for them, you know, that has a ripple in time in itself, you know, and that's almost like the most important ripple in time because it's like you're literally affecting people around you in a positive way, and that's going to ripple out
Yeah, it's like
through
the
other
butterfly
people.
effect.
It's like the butterfly effect. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it just kind of, that's going to go on. It's like, you know,
It's
hopefully.
and that's with everything. Like, I'm sorry to interrupt you. That's with
Yeah.
everything. Like you could be at a bar one night and you could have some drinks. You can get drunk and drive home and end up killing somebody, you know, and spend the rest of your fucking life in prison. And or you get out of prison and then you're homeless because you can't get a job. And people see, you know, homeless people on the side of the road. They're like, why doesn't this motherfucker get a job? Well, maybe they can't. You know, maybe something happened. Maybe they actually ended up hurting somebody and now they're not able to get a job. And, you know, it's so fucked. I mean, every single thing that you do in life impacts something else and changes something else, some future outcome. I would like to think that Terminator 2 created a butterfly effect for what's happening now with the Tesla bots that are being created. What do you think about that? Have you heard about the news about the Tesla bots?
No.
Okay, so Elon Musk, you know who he is, obviously.
Yeah.
So he was having this Tesla event, and he introduced a Tesla bot, which is a humanoid robot that he says will be in production by next year. And he says, now you can have them do your chores for you. It could go to the grocery store. It could, and he's going to try to make it really affordable. Probably around like, I swear to God, probably like $15,000, $20,000. He wants
like
to make
that
it to where
robot
people,
from the Jetsons, basically. Like
it look it up. It looks like a humanoid robot. I don't know if I can share it on this screen, but
Yeah.
Tesla bot. It's
It can
just
do I can clean my house and do my chores. That's awesome.
it can clean your house. It could do your chores. You could program it to do whatever you want it to do. And he says that also it'll have its own unique personality. He also went on to say, "Don't worry, it will only go 5 miles per hour, so you could probably run away from it if something happens." And I'm like, okay, so this is like, we're living in a time right now where the future is now. You know what I mean? Like, we're in a huge transition in technology and have been for quite a while. And most people don't realize that. You know, like there was a huge boom in like the 60s, the 50s and 60s. And then now, like, we're living in a time where we're seeing everything come together from sci-fi movies. And I mean, would you get a Tesla bot? Would you trust a robot living in your house?
It sounds pretty cool.
I know.
It sounds pretty cool. I'd love
I'm here
something
for it.
I'd love something to just clean my house.
Yeah.
Do these Tesla bots give you blowjobs or what?
I honestly, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
That's not far off either. I mean, well, you have like these sex dolls. I'm sure, like, in the future, even not even that far into the future, there are going to be sex bots. Obviously.
Yeah, dude, those sex dolls are creepy though.
They are creepy.
Dude,
I
so
know.
Creepy. Oh my god, dude! Like, I don't know what it is, dude. Like, I don't know. They just, they look like weird dead body. Like, I don't know.
It's unnatural. It's not the way it's supposed to be. That's
yeah, dude.
It's like American Pie. Like he fucks the apple pie. It's like essentially it's essentially the same thing. You replace the apple pie with a doll. You're doing the same act. If someone walks in and sees that, you might as well be fucking an apple pie because it's just as absurd. I mean, I think that's fucking gross.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
Dude, I don't know. Like, fuck, dude. I mean, fuck, I don't know. Yeah, just get a hooker.
Yeah, that's like a serial killer thing, Like, if you get a sex doll, are you a serial killer? That's what I would ask. Like, if you and I like hung out all the time and I came over to your house and you just had like a sex doll, I'd be like, are you a fucking serial killer? Like, what is going on here? What?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah. I don't know.
Man. I think I will get a Tesla bot just because I'm into technology. Like, I bought a Tesla because I want to support that technology, like the self-driving car. Like, to me, that's fascinating. And I love it. And I'll never drive another car in my life. Like, it's like, it's
you
the
like
coolest
the Tesla
car.
that much, huh? Yeah.
Dude, listen to this. They just did an update where you can use your car as a megaphone. So I can be inside my car and I turn on the megaphone app and I can talk inside my car and people can hear it on the outside, and I sound like like the Ed 209 robot from RoboCop. So I'll be like, please disperse, and it'll sound like that. It's fucking cool, dude. You can play music on the outside of your car, so whatever you're listening to on the inside, people can hear on the outside. And it drives itself. I mean, it accelerates at crazy speeds.
Yeah.
It's just it's a fucking cool car.
Do you miss ever the engine feeling at all?
No, not at all. Well, that depends. Like, if I was driving like a classic car, like I always wanted like a 69 Mustang or something, like a muscle car, but now it's like, I know how safe these cars are, and I go from 0 to 60 in like 3.4 seconds, I think it is.
Yeah.
So it's like, and dude, honestly, test drive one. You can test drive it. All you have to have with you is your ID, and they'll hand you over a little card, and you can get in and drive.
Yeah.
Once you drive it, you'll be like, I never want to drive anything else. And it's just like, that's where we're headed, like,
yeah.
Like I was saying, it's like Terminator 2, like the future. But I guess not in the same way, because there's no like robots
Yeah.
coming back in time, but
I don't know. It's like, yeah, the AI shit is just crazy, man. Like, I watch these videos and they have like this language thing that's like called CP something, or whatever, and they'll talk together and
yeah.
they have sort of reenactments of what these things are saying, and they seem to think that they actually are, like aware. You know what I
Are
mean?
you talking
Absolutely.
about the Facebook thing where Facebook made AI talk to each other and they were
Yeah,
making their
yeah,
own
yeah,
language? Dude,
yeah.
so they were like making their own language and they were concerned because they couldn't understand what they were saying to each other.
Mhm.
That's weird. Dude, did you hear
Yeah,
about this? So, you know about Neuralink.
yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
Neuralink, it's basically a brain implant, and it's going to help paraplegics walk again. And if you're blind, you'll have sight. If you're deaf, you could have your hearing back. So they're testing it out on monkeys, and apparently they're doing it in a very humane way. But they have a monkey who has the Neuralink implant who plays Pong with his mind. So he's not even using any remotes. And every time he wins the game, they feed him a little bit of banana. And so there's a video on YouTube. You could watch it. It's just a monkey sitting in front of a computer screen. And
Yeah.
he has the Neuralink implant. And he's just sitting there and the Pong is playing. And he's like doing really well. And I'm like, dude, that's nuts. Like
That's weird.
imagine like getting this implant and we don't have to have phones anymore. We don't have to have cameras. We could just say we could have the best memory. We could record anything we want.
Yeah.
I could be having this conversation with you in my head right now.
Right. Yeah.
Dude.
That would be pretty crazy. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it's I think Elon Musk even said that he's like afraid of like what could happen if AI becomes self-aware.
Oh
But
yeah.
it's I mean, I think it's too intriguing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just gonna keep going for it because it's like but it's like I don't know, man. At the same time, it's like it is kind of scary. It is,
Yeah.
I don't know, like what happens is something realizes it's you know has the ability somehow to literally end us all. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. It's kind of like I remember someone talking about this and it's like you have to input the right information and it has to be very specific in order to program these
yeah,
AI robots or consciousness, whatever it is. And let's say you tell a robot, this is just an example. I don't know if this makes any sense, but um, make it to where nobody uses paper clips anymore.
mm,
That robot would find a way to make it to where they don't exist. So what would it do? It would go back and kill the person that created the
yeah,
paperclip. You know what I mean? Like something like that. Like it's almost like if you think about it this way, if we talk about consciousness and what is God and who are we as like as a human species, what is our purpose? What if we are just the jizz of AI? Like, or does that make sense? Like, what if we're
mhm,
birthing a whole new consciousness? Like
yeah,
something birthed us, like the human beings
mhm,
form, and now we are creating a whole new consciousness. But then
mhm,
what will that AI consciousness create after that? What if
yeah,
AI recreates man in the
mhm,
future? Like what if something happens to us and then AI recreates us? And what if that's what happened to us is AI created us?
yeah. Well, it's
And
weird,
it's a
like you
cycle.
think about it, it's like, we kind of, every animal has its sort of purpose in the world. We don't know what our fucking purpose is, dude. We don't know, like, exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, if anything, it looks like we are really bad for the environment. I mean, it looks like we just, if anything,
Yeah.
we'd be closer to like a virus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
and
I
it's
don't even
weird,
think
like,
we belong here on this planet. I think we are aliens to this planet because of the way we treat it and we pollute it, and it's just like we're
yeah.
poison.
But yeah, it's just weird. Like our main purpose seems to be to build machines or to like, build up these crazy cities and
Yeah.
I mean, where the fuck is that going? You know what I mean?
I
It's just
know.
like,
And everybody, okay, so you can't wait for the next iPhone. You know what I mean? Like everybody always wants to fucking update. Like, and you're pissed. You're still pissed. You get the new phone and there's something that fucking pisses you off about it. Oh no, it's too slow. It's not fast enough. It's never fast enough anymore. Nothing ever is enough anymore. And that's what I'm saying. Like, what if our purpose is just to create this new consciousness? Like that is our purpose.
Exactly.
And then it like recycles itself over and over again. The human species gets wiped out maybe by a virus, and then AI needs us maybe to improve it somehow. Maybe like we're the key to something else. And that's what happens. We get wiped out and it recreates us. And maybe that's what the Big Bang is. Like, and it always happens over and over.
Yeah. Or maybe AI wipes us out and then realizes it can't live without us.
Dude, what if it's like a reboot?
Yeah, like a reboot. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's what computers know. They know the restart button. They're like, oh, well, I better restart it because this is getting fucked up.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's
I started learning how to make 3D models. So 2022, I had some New Year's resolutions. I was like, first of all, I'm not going to drink for a whole year. So I'm on day 8 right now. And
how's that going?
No, I feel great.
Yeah.
Here, check this out. So I love the taste of beer. I'm a beer fan. So I got these, not a sponsor, Heineken 0.0.
Yeah.
And so I drink these beers and I'm like, I'm fine. Like, I feel totally great. I'll smoke some CBD and I'll just chill out and I'll be good. But I'm really, I started to worry about my health a little bit. I got some news from my doctor about my liver. And they essentially told me you're on the way to cirrhosis of the liver. And so I was like, yeah, man, I was like, fuck, well, I got to change, So anyway, I started making 3D models because now I'm not drinking. I have nothing to do. So I'm making these models and it's like so lifelike, the stuff that I'm making. I'm like, what if there's like some kid out there like creating us in like some simulation like this? You know what I mean? Like some universe just at the fingertips of some little nerdy teenager.
Yeah, right? I know. I mean, we're back on like on this whole like metaverse thing that Facebook is doing, whatever. Like, and I mean, I put on virtual reality headsets and they're like, the very beginning of it. But it's like, it's crazy, dude. Like, I mean, and
I've never done it.
Oh, you've never done that? Oh man.
No.
Do it. Yeah, do it. Like
I'm afraid that if I do it, I'm going to fall in love with it and I'll never be back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm afraid that, like, right now I barely play video games. Sometimes if I can't find anything to watch, I'll put on a video game and I'll play for a little bit, but I'm not like a gamer. But if I had a headset, I don't know, that seems really immersive and like addicting.
It is. And you know what? I mean, I just had like the PSVR thing, and I actually just gave my old one to my kid, actually, because I mean, it's sort of the whole thing sort of wore off after a while, and after a while, I just started like kind of tripping out, being like, God, I look like such an idiot with this fucking helmet on, like, And so I mean, but it is cool, man, and it does make you think that maybe we are in some sort of stimulation because, like, if we could be this good right now, there's nothing saying that we could make virtual reality at some point be indistinguishable from reality. You know,
Absolutely. I recently got a PlayStation 5. I got really lucky. One of my brother's friends had one.
It's awesome,
and he was like, hey,
right?
do you want to buy it? Yeah. And so I got it, and I'm like, oh my God. The reason I got it is because I was watching YouTube, and I saw this thing. It said video game indistinguishable from reality, best graphics ever, like 8K, whatever. And so I click on it. It's Matrix Awakens. And basically, have you played it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this Unreal Engine 5,
It's insane.
It's dude, it's so lifelike. It's real. The physics are just
the car
incredibly
crashes,
accurate.
Everything, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. I love the PS5. By the way,
What are your favorite games?
Right now, I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima. Is how you say it, I guess. Ghost of Tsushima. It's like a samurai game. Kind of remind me of Red Dead Redemption.
Nice. Did you have a Red Dead phase where you played it and you thought, you went and bought Western clothes and started drinking whiskey and?
No, but I did play the fuck out of that game, dude. When it came out, man.
I literally started dressing like Western, and I started drinking whiskey. I grew a mustache.
I think I started saying certain like quotes or different things characters would say in it. You know what I mean? Like, that's crooked as a dog's hind leg or something. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, just like random, like weird shit. But yeah, dude, like that game was dope. I don't think I could. I mean, it's a long game too, man. Like, I mean, it took me quite a while to get through it. And
did you finish it?
Yeah, I finished it.
I didn't, because I didn't want it to end. I stopped playing.
Really?
Yeah. Well, now it's like, I'll go and play the game, and I'll just like blow people's limbs off, and that's fun sometimes. But
dude, like, yeah, like I mean, I saw online, like, it was hilarious. This guy, like, there's this mini mission where this guy asks you to find his dog or whatever. And I saw somebody like online. So like basically the guy found the dude's dog, and the guy's like happy to see his dog. And then he literally fucking like hog ties him, pulls him along with the horse, and then feeds him to the alligator. Or no, he kills his puppy in front of him, hog ties him, and then drags him by his horse and throws him to the alligators. And
those videos are great. I love I love watching like the modded videos. Have you watched those? The guys that like will get people together in a big group and like with a big dynamite truck and just like blow them up. It's like, oh my God, these kids. What's crazy is like these kids know how to do stuff like that. Like I wouldn't even know where to start. Like if you were like, hey, mod this video game, I'd be like, how? Like I don't even know what is. How do you do that?
Yeah,
it's insane. What else do you play?
God, Dinah, hold on, wait 1 second. Dinah, stop, sit. Okay, sorry.
No worries, man. I'm gonna edit all that out anyway. Don't worry.
I play like all sorts of shit, dude. I was really into Doom for a while, like the last one that came out. Like I love first person shooters and shit like that. Not
Do you
really
play Call
into
of Duty?
I'm not into like the online shit really. Like I like story driven things, like like BioShock and just like like really cool kind of story driven shit. But I like shooting things.
Dude, if you ever get on online gaming and you want someone to play with, I'm your guy. I'm your guy.
Nice. Oh, rock and roll, dude. Yeah.
No, I honestly but I never play, so.
Yeah, no, me and my son have been playing this game where it's a co-op game together, and it's called It Takes Two. And it's like kind of like it's sort of like a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids kind of vibe to it. Like you're shrunken down and you have to do all these like crazy things, and we're having a blast, dude. It is so
What's it
fun.
called?
It Takes Two. If you have the PS5, you can download it and play it with your kid. How old's your kid? Like
5.
5?
I have twins that are 5, and then I have a 2-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, if he's too young, maybe play it with baby mama or something like that, because it's amazing, dude. Like we're having so much fun, dude, playing it.
Do you have to have someone else playing it with you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I guess that's why they named the game It Takes Two, because it literally takes two.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm looking at it right now. It looks incredible.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, man.
You
have to sort of it's like you guys are figuring out puzzles that, and you guys have to help each other out, like get through it.
Oh, that's cool, man. I've been playing, like, the only game I play is Call of Duty Vanguard. And I guess it's just like I'm so used to playing like first person shooter games, and like the new Grand Theft Auto never came out. And it was supposed to come out already, but I'm guessing that the reason it didn't come out is because of this whole Unreal Engine that they have. Like imagine if they, excuse me, by the way, this fake beer is getting to me. Imagine like if they released Grand Theft Auto 6, they would be like, oh, well, these graphics are like the same. You know what I mean? It's just like we've waited so long, and then here's Matrix Awakens, and they have like the best graphics in the world. But that game sucks because you can't really do anything. Like, you can't steal cars. You can only use parked cars. Like, I got the PlayStation so I could play that, and I ended up playing it for like 20 minutes, and I stopped, and I haven't played it since.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. I felt the same way. I was like, well, I wish I could actually play a game,
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. But, I mean, if GTA looked like that, that would be awesome.
Oh, dude, well, you gotta also think, like, can they do that? Like, is that morally responsible? Can they actually release a game that looks that real and have you like killing people and on the side of the road? You know what I mean? Like, if you think about like movies today, I mean, there's a lot of movies that were made in like the 90s and early 2000s that you can't even make today. Like The Matrix was totally different. Did you watch the new one?
No, I heard it was horrible. Yeah.
I hate to be a spoiler here, but it was bad. I mean, it was like, if you think about The Matrix, anything's possible. In the first one, they're like guns, and like all these guns come up and they're like shooting and going in slow motion. Like, this movie was all talk. It was like a big cash grab. That's what it seemed like. It seemed like the whole thing was just a commercial for this Matrix Awakens game. That's what it seemed like. It seemed like they were trying to get money so they could produce this game.
Yeah. Which doesn't do anything.
Maybe maybe they had to have this demo ready so that whenever this movie came out, they could. It's basically like a GoFundMe. So I feel like The Matrix Resurrections, the movie, was like a GoFundMe for this video game that they're creating.
You know what? One of the best video games that I've played on the PS4, and it looks really good on the PS5, is God of War.
Oh, nice.
God of War, dude. That game, you should try it out. It's sick. It's really
I've seen
good.
gameplay. Yeah. I've been looking for a new game. Like, I'm so tired of playing Call of Duty. It's the same shit, It's like you just shoot people, die, spawn over and over. I mean, Red Dead Redemption, like I said, I was like addicted to it. I was addicted to Grand Theft Auto. I think that's more of like my style gaming, is like immersive, like free roaming games where you could do anything you want. But
yeah, you like Ghost of Tsushima too, man. That shit's really tight. Yeah, it's like all free roaming. Yeah, it's like free roaming and just, kind of RPG elements to it. Like, you build up your character, and it's dope, and it's beautiful. It's got really, you're riding around a horse. You know what I mean? It's a big open world. Like,
oh, this looks awesome.
Yeah, it's tight.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, I'll try that one out. Like I said, it's just so weird, like looking for movies at night now. Like, have you seen anything good? The last good movie I watched was Don't Look Up. I really liked
I
that.
liked it. Yeah, it was good, right? I thought it
It's
was
like a
really good.
perfect
It was.
example of what's going on right now.
I know it was like, yeah, I kept thinking about it afterwards, which I guess is like a good sign of a movie, And I was just like, it's a little too close to home. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, I thought it was really good. I think that was like, yeah, sort of the last good thing. I mean, I don't really, fuck, man. I don't watch that much TV. I watch a lot of YouTube and shit now.
What are your favorite YouTube channels? What do you watch?
Pretty much anything. I love science shit, so I love to learn. I love to learn about the universe and all that shit. I love videos about AI. I'm fascinated by that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I also love to see I was really addicted to the Karen videos for a while, Um, so I love seeing cringy shit,
Yeah.
I don't know, just random news, things like that.
Dude,
Yeah.
have you ever seen The Backyard Scientist? It's like this kid who lives in Florida, and he does like crazy stuff. Like he'll make like I don't know, like flamethrowers and do all this science stuff and in his backyard of his parents' house. And it's really good. I love watching stuff like that. I watch
Was he making like laser beams and shit?
Yeah. Dude, there's another guy, Pyro Styro. A little shout out to Pyro Styro on YouTube. He makes lasers and he does he made a laser bazooka. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that one, but I mean, it's like he's really young, right? And he's just like building these freaking crazy lasers and shit that like literally burn things, and yeah,
and like he built a laser that went on. Or maybe this was Backyard Scientist. Another guy, the Backyard Scientist, built a huge laser that was on top of his car, and he went out into like the forest and was like shooting this huge laser. He ended up having the FBI come to his house, I think. But
oh my
dude,
God.
I find that stuff fascinating. And then they're like, like you could buy these lasers on eBay and they give you these glasses that come with them, but these glasses will make you go blind if you use them while using these lasers. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. I think about when I was a kid and I had lasers, I would shine them in people's eyes.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Dude, yeah. YouTube's like the future of, I mean, it's not even the future. It is now. It's like TV, like when we were kids, like this is like the new TV.
That's the thing though. It's like, I'm so used to these 5-minute videos that it's like my attention span is just like becoming nothing, dude. Like I'll try to watch like a TV show that, it's like,
it's like in basketball.
Like saying,
have you seen basketball?
No, I've never seen it, and I fucking love them, dude. I love them. I love like South Park and all of that shit. But
man, they're like these teenagers today. They're I can't even think of what I was gonna say. Their attention span could be measured in nanoseconds, but it's true. Like with TikTok and everything, it's like you know what? I'll look at TikTok sometimes and I don't use it. I'll post sometimes and like I'll get like a ton of views just because nobody like deals with VHS. So they're like, oh wow, what the fuck is this? Who is this guy with the VHS tapes? But like I'll look at it and I'll just like constantly just scroll through it. Like even like the 5-second videos aren't fast enough. So I'm just like, just
I know. Yeah, I do the same shit. I know. Yeah. It's weird, like, and people will talk about like, I don't know, everybody's like saying, oh, you got to watch Yellowstone and everything now. And I'm like, I can't fucking sit through a TV show anymore because I'm like,
I can't watch stuff like that. Like if I put on Yellowstone or like True Detective season 1, I'd be like, I need a drink. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, how long has it been since you've had a drink? Probably a long time, right?
up on 4 years, dude.
Wow.
4 years.
Does stuff
Yeah.
like that trigger you? Like if you watch like Mad Men or like, you know, like a show that has a lot of heavy drinking?
No,
No.
no, not anymore. Yeah, I mean, I literally, yeah, I don't know, dude. It's weird. Like, it did at first, I guess, maybe a little bit, but I don't know. Like, yeah, people drink at my house and stuff, and it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, you just kind of get used to it at a certain point. You just realize it's, a necessary sort of part of life. Everybody drinks. But yeah, it's just my attention span, dude. Like, I can't focus on anything that long. It's like I've got ADD or something. You know?
Yeah.
Hey, stop. She wants to go on a walk.
Well, you know, I know you're a busy guy and you got to go take that doggy on a walk. But before you go, why don't you tell us, you know, what you have coming up? What can we look forward to? And, you know, kind of just tell us where you're going in life. What can we expect?
Um, I don't know, man. I don't got really. I mean, there's been a couple. Like, I mean, the pandemic is just kind of still sort of happening, and there are people working, but there's a lot of people who aren't. So it's like I'm kind of uh, looked at a couple projects, not really feeling them. So I don't know, man. I hope shit turns around soon. But I I do these conventions once in a while, and those things have been sort of drying up too. So yeah, it's been kind of a slow time when it comes to work. But I'm not tripping out really. I got
Yeah.
like what I need, and yeah, man, I know it's gonna be fine. It's just you know a matter of when and having patience. I But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at projects right now. Um, I just I was kind of before like I got sober and everything. I was doing a lot of kind of shittier pay jobs. It's just shit that would pay me money, but I didn't like it, and I'm really trying not to do that again. I don't want to do that because you get stuck doing that.
If someone approached you and
Mhm.
said, "Hey, will you play John Connor again?" Would you?
I would do it in a second, of course, because obviously whatever that was would have the money to make a Terminator project, and I'd get paid, sucker.
And
So
you
yeah,
are John Connor.
yeah. I mean, I did do the Dark Fate thing, which was, I mean, it was a weird experience because it's like a video game, and they were just kind of scanning my face, and it was weird. But of course, I would love to do that. And there's a special place in my heart because it is my first
Yeah.
actual job. So of course, yeah, I would do
Well, you know, there's only one Batman, and that's Michael Keaton. There's only
it.
one John Connor, and that is Edward Furlong.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.